Hello, this is B&B, Xbox 360 Repair Shop, Indianapolis, doing a documentary about how to fix an Xbox 360 with the error code of 0110. First, the problem lies actually in the system on the ROMs. Everybody wants to heat up the GPU, they want to heat up the CPU, but that's not the main problem. The main problem is they actually lie on the two ROM bricks that sit right in front of the GPU. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reflow, applying heat at 320 degrees for 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do. I'm going to hook up the cables to show you that actually when you're heating up the GPU and the CPU, you really don't need to do that because it's not the GPU or the CPU. A lot of people tell you differently, it's GPU or CPU, but actually it's just the ROM. So I'm going to take my air nozzle, and I'm just going to heat up the affected area, which is actually the two ROM bricks that sit on top. Now I don't want to heat it up too long because this is considered a cap on top of the solder. It's considered it'll actually get so hot that it'll actually, the solder underneath the cap will actually start exposing, and then if that exposed, the solder underneath the cap will actually expand the cap, and then you got the cap for the ROM brick actually off your Xbox 360. You got two ROM bricks that sit underneath this heat sink. They have to get hot. You have to reflow them as well. The reason why I'm turning it on and off is because I want to allow the C after the reflow. That way I know for a fact I'm not getting the system too hot, too quick. That way I know I'm not going to mess myself up in front of the board. I mean, heat is a factor with this, and I'm sorry, but too much exposure, too much heat, you're going to actually have a problem. So I'm going to do, after I got that done, I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to use the air nozzle. Alright, you don't want to come off, I'll make you come off. Gotta be real careful, this thing is really, really hot. You get it too hot, too quick. There it goes. Alright, back in business. Just gotta reflow the two ROM bricks that sits below the heat sinks itself and the two front heat sink. You really don't have to worry about the ROM bricks underneath the board. That's not the problem. Okay, it's still not hot enough. I'd move it up to about, I'd say 360 degrees. Like I said, you really don't want to overheat this thing way too much. It'll cause problems. Just want to make it nice and warm. Again, just keep on trying. Because like I said, you really don't want to overheat this too much. See? There you go. It tells me right there that it is on, it is active, it is basically running like it's supposed to now. So the ROMs actually underneath the GPU and the two ROMs in the front isn't affected by that. Now it's too hot because I don't have the shield on it. So basically what I want to do is I'm going to unplug this. Allow that to sit for up to, I'd say, a couple minutes. You really don't have to. If you really want to cool your ROMs down, you just want to turn it back on. I didn't have the shield on it, so it too red ringed. Without the shield being on it, it overheats dramatically. It's going to overheat within the first 35-40 seconds. Just turn it back off. And I'm going to turn it back on, and voila, it is fixed. You can see on the screen that it is displaying a game. Oh, never mind, it's displaying the screen. It is up and running. Allow that to cool down dramatically, and then I'm going to turn it back off. Now you're going to still hear the fans kick on a few minutes because it's still detecting heat. That is normal. So now it's off. I'm going to turn it back on. Go ahead and turn off my machine. Back off again. So a lot of your problems with the 0110 are these two ROM bricks and the two that sits underneath the GPU. And what happens is a lot of people underestimate. They think it's the actual GPU processor that's causing it because they heat this up. It's actually the ROM bricks underneath. Microsoft should have cut the actual heatsink back to expose the ROMs. But when this ROM right here, or actually when the heatsink actually starts to overheat, that actually warms up the ROMs underneath, causing it to disconnect. So these two underneath the heatsink and these two right here are the major ones that cause the 0110. So let me go ahead and turn it back on for you again. It's not a big issue, but yeah, it's something to mess with. And that is all you got to do to fix your system. Again, remember, the two ROMs that's underneath the GPU, reflow those, and reflow the actual ROMs that sit in front. Thank you.